Hello, hello, everybody. I'm always pausing to make sure this is actually working. Thank you all for joining me today and welcome to Channeling for the Collective. My name is Allison Holly, and I go live at the beginning of every month, the first Sunday of every month, to offer channeled guidance and coaching and all sorts of fun stuff. Go into the collective energies. So, whatever is supportive, that's what I'm here for. Let's see. Hi, Floor. Hi, Courtney. Hi, Christina. Hi, Nikki. I can see the chat pretty well with the lighting being what it is. Hello, Kennedy. Hi, Zoe. All right, cool. So, the way that this works, for those of you who it's your first time here, by the way, I am visiting my sister today. And so I'm in her daughter's room right now. I'm sitting on the floor and it's super cozy and cute in here. Always a new background, always moving around and shifting. So, the way that this works is that I will be diving into as many of your questions as we have time for in the next hour. Sometimes I go a little over, but today I can't because I'm flying back home today. And so, if you have a question, I have incredible moderators that are going to be texting me all of the questions because they just get lost in the chat sometimes. So, if you have a question that you would like me to dive into, um, go ahead and type Q at the beginning of it and type it in the chat. My moderators will send that over to me, and then I'll go through as many of them as possible. Now, sometimes a question will be really, really personal. Most of the time, I'm going to answer all of the questions. But if it's really, really personal, and I look at it, I might tell you, okay, let's do a one-on-one session about that, because sometimes, especially with um, health questions and things like that, that can be something that's a little easier for me to look at in an extended session. And I don't want to, briefly look at something that is really important to you. So that's how this works. But most of the time, anything, the really incredible thing about channeling, especially in a group, and I set this intention, so I think it happens even more frequently, is when you ask a question, if I'm going to go into it and I'm going to look at it intuitively, it's probably going to benefit everyone that's tuning into this, either right now, live tuning in, or tuning in later. And it's really powerful like that, even if it feels like something that's super personal, super individual. You'll probably witness and recognize, oh, somebody's asking about this over here. But when you really tune in and you listen, the guidance that comes through about that can just be for everybody, and it might be exactly what you're looking for. So I look forward to reading all of your questions. Thank you to the amazing moderators who are here. Shout out to Courtney, to Kennedy, and to my sister Amanda, who's in the other room right now. A couple announcements. First announcement is next Sunday, in my private community, the True Creator community, I will be offering a free monthly book club meeting. And what we do in that, I don't have my book here with me, but we're going into my most recent book, Ecstatic Playground, and we'll be diving in chapter by chapter. So we're in chapter 2 this month. All of the replays are listed. It's a lot of fun. It's a great time, especially if you are someone who's looking for spiritual community. If you want to connect with truly some amazing people, I recommend joining the True Creator community. It's a free group. I offer it from the love of my heart. It's just something that I've been guided to offer. And there's really incredible people in there. And the book club gets you a chance to dive deeper into some of the teachings that I've already been guided to offer to the collective. So I look comfy. Yeah, I'm like literally wearing a giant blanket today. I mean, it's clothing, but Zahira, hello. Hi, Nikki. Oh, Anna. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to have you here. Hello, Michael. I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing anyone. Miracle Stone, what a beautiful name. Okay, cool. I'm just saying hi to people briefly. The next, whoo, I'm getting a ringing in my ears. The next announcement that I have, and I'll go into questions in just a moment. But the next announcement that I have is that on November 11th, so 11/11, I am offering my telekinesis class. If you are curious about that, it's the last video that I posted here on the channel. Check that out. This is taking manifestation, conscious creation a step further. We're marrying the celestial and the physical. We're really starting to step into our abilities, step into our powers in this human form. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be sharing a lot with you in that course. Link is in the description box. The next announcement that I have, let's see, what was the other one that I had? I guess I'll have to think about it later. Hello, Brennan. Oh my goodness, love. Wow, I feel like I'm seeing some faces that I haven't seen for a while. Hi, Kimmy. Hello, hello. Okay, if I remember what that other announcement is, I'll tell you. Oh, that's what it is. If for whatever reason you do want to work with me individually, maybe your question doesn't get answered here, or you want to go deeper, you want to work with me long term, or just a single session, all of that information is in the description box below. And one more thing, if you want to join the book club, it is completely free, all the way down to you can get the book for free. The audiobook is posted on my YouTube channel. So I would love to have you read it and join us. All right, I'm going to go into the first question. I'm going to kind of center my energy. Thank you, Courtney. All right, so it looks like the first question is, what are some underlying causes of the inflammation in my body? Has it been there since birth? Any insight on how to restore balance? Immediately, what I'm getting when I read this is, and I understand this one very well, so I'm going to go ahead and tune in. Because I don't want to, when we're speaking from the mind so frequently. And so what I'm doing when I go into channeling, it's not necessarily that I got to go way into this new space. Sometimes it's just a breath away. And that breath brings me into sort of a higher viewpoint. So what I'm seeing, the reason that you're asking if it's been there since birth is because so some of us are really, really sensitive. I would say almost everyone here is very sensitive. Everyone on this group, anyone who's watching this, very sensitive. And what it means to be sensitive in this particular way is that, okay, so when we are not sensitive, we are desensitized to what regularly happens. Let me just back up here. So I'm channeling and I'm getting like full pictures and stories, and I really want to use this time to teach you all. What does it mean to be sensitive? It means that we are not desensitized to the level that a lot of humans are. So for example, I'm very sensitive because this is first lifetime on earth, and I haven't had a chance to play in the earth, the human realms, these denser realms very frequently. And so I'm very sensitive to things that don't feel in alignment with that divine essence of myself. This makes me more, now, this isn't true of everyone, this next part, but in my story, this made me more reactive to things that felt out of alignment. So it felt like I was crashing into the human experience, and it didn't necessarily feel easy or fun. I really, when I came in to be born, remember feeling that it was quite chaotic. So this is something that I'm picking up for you. Let me go back to this question. This is actually, yes, this is the beginning of where inflammation is caused, because when there's resistance, I've been told that allergies are resistance to what is, okay? So when we are sensitive, when we are very sensitive, meaning we haven't been desensitized to maybe what's not in alignment with the higher version of ourselves, we can be very sensitive to a lot of things within the human experience, because there's a lot that doesn't align with the full expression of love and light that we truly are. Right? There's nothing wrong with it, but there's a lot going on here that's not fully, in this beautiful alignment with us living in our free, joyful state. So, yes, some of that initial inflammation for you was caused just by you coming in to be born, just by coming into the womb. What I'm feeling is that resistance, almost like an anger frequency, um, for this, Zoe. Okay. And any insight on how to restore balance? Keep coming back to what is in this moment now. And I want to share my own story with this. This is something that I have really, really, really made some huge strides in my own life. Um, there was a lot of inflammation. I was in the hospital a lot, throughout my youth, even well into adulthood. There was a lot going on. I have learned how to calm that inflammation kind of in real time, simply by bringing myself into present moment awareness. And that actually gives the body a chance to clear a lot. So, how to restore balance for you, Zoe? Find play and joy in life. And I know that sounds kind of trite, right? That might sound like such a silly answer when we're really dealing with something that feels very real to us. Now, we can support the body with herbs, and I am getting that you're going to want to work with some herbs in cleaning out the residual inflammation that you've accumulated. That's sort of been sleeping. It feels like it's sleeping in your body. So you want to work with some herbs, and you can look up different herbs and see which one aligns with you. Again, this is something that we probably want to go deeper into in a one-on-one session. But there are definitely herbs that are going to help cleanse some of that inflammation from your body and restoring balance. Learn to witness life as joyful. Learn to realign in each moment to see life as joyful. And this sometimes takes practice, okay? Um, okay, Stephen, I'm going to go ahead and let you know that this needs to be something done in a private session. Um, okay, I'm going to go ahead and move into the next one. Nikki, I go into hermit mode occasionally. How to come out sooner, please and thank you. When you're going into hermit mode, what's happening is you are wanting to find your truth again, which means that when you start to come out of hermit mode, there's an inner part of you that's resisting coming out because it's hard still for you to come out of hermit mode, be around people, and feel balanced. Okay. So the practice is, this is going to sound kind of funny, be in hermit mode, that internal vibrational state, even when you come out of hermit mode, right? So be in hermit mode even when you're around people. And what that means is really tune into what is the vibrational state inside of me when I'm hermiting, when I'm going within, when I'm kind of protecting yourself. What is the vibrational state of that? And a couple things, moving into knowing that you're safe even around people, because there is, yeah, now I'm picking up on more of that story, which has been real for you in your life around being around people hurts. Okay, so you feel safer when you're hermiting. So what you learn to do is go into, even when you're around people, You're going to allow yourself to be vibrationally in that hermit mode, which is energy is within. We can feel this difference, and I'd love for each of you to kind of tune into this if it's resonating. Feel this resonance. Feel the difference between um, being with people and still being in your center, and then sort of pouring your center out when you're with people, sort of losing that. It's almost like your center of gravity, right? It runs right through the middle, and you're like, I'm centered, I'm firm, I feel great. And then when you start to interact with people and you start kind of losing that center of gravity in somebody else, start to witness when that happens, because you can absolutely go into hermit mode as much as you want. You can play in that as much as you want, and then when you come out and you start interacting with people, you can still be in your power, in your true center. Okay, so start to let that happen. And there's also something in there for you um, about really, really deeply healing. And I know you've done so much work, Nikki, about really deeply healing um, that feeling of people are not safe. Okay. So heal that part. People are safe. People are safe. Um, I feel distracting right now, but I want to share with you the nails that my little sister did. And it's so far it's only on one hand, but it's just so cute. All right. All right. Oh, and by the way, Stephen, I just want to say I love you. And that was not, anything personal. It's just something that we need to go deeper into one-on-one. Oh, okay. Goose wants to know what the earth is for. Goose is my niece. I almost said nephew. I get it all confused. Oh, it's for play. It's for play. And I have to say, there's nothing like being around. I don't have any kids, so being around my two nieces right now who are young, I'm like, wow, I've become such a stick in the mud. Like, I'm not playing enough. I'm too much of an adult. So, Earth is for play, Earth is for discovery, Earth is for joy, Earth is for remembering. It's forgetting in order to remember. It's for imagine if you were just imagine if you'd been training your whole life, like muscle building, running races. You'd been training your whole life. Wouldn't you want to put those abilities sort of to the test, right? Earth is never a test. A lot of people say like, "Oh, I'm being tested, reality's testing me." It's never a test. It almost makes me want to throw up because it's so not a test. It is from a personal standpoint, like it's not a test against us, but from a personal standpoint, it's to test our abilities, which is exciting. Okay, I think I'm gonna be great at this. I wanna go into something difficult. When I do soul readings, when I do channeling readings with people, and they look at some of the most difficult experiences, it truly is, wow, your soul essence was so excited to have these pretend limitations so that you could discover how powerful you are. It really is. It's just always that. It's incredible. All right. And that doesn't mean that we have to stay in the difficult circumstances, but learning to navigate away from the difficult circumstances is often, in fact, I would say like always, but I can't really say always. It is often through appreciation of those circumstances. It's through deep love for those circumstances. All right. I loved that question. Guidance in navigating continuing intense energies with commitments and obligations firmly rooted in 3D, anxiety and overwhelm in face of physical changes and constant vies for attention. You've got to drop the people pleasing. I'm sorry. I know sometimes um, I'm going to actually check in because I feel like I'm being a little direct, and I just want to, sometimes it comes through direct. You've got to drop the people pleasing because yeah, it must be tuning into your energy, Zahira. because it's coming through even stronger when I try and make it calmer and more nice. It's coming through like, fuck all the circumstances. Sorry if my language bothers anybody. You have got to allow yourself to prioritize presence. Prioritize presence. And that doesn't mean that it's not going to be difficult, because here's what's happening. I'm going to read this one more time. Navigating intense energies, commitments and obligations. Yeah, the commitments and obligations. When we come into the present moment, all of the supposed limitations, all of the commitments, all of the obligations, we see them for what they are. Yeah, this one I really do need to do. And this one, no, this is people pleasing. This is human me trying to interact in a specific way. Of course, all of this is coming through with love. It's really coming through direct, though. You, with your power, need to learn to attune simply your will into this reality. It's not everybody else's will, it's yours. And you allowing all these other voices around you and vying for your attention when you need to be focusing on you, all of that is you trying to run away from your power because it's intimidating to you. So stay in your power and listen. What is it that actually needs to be done? And then let go of everybody else's opinions about you, because honestly, F them, okay? That's how strongly it's coming through. Let it go. This is about you. This life is about you. Of course, the extension of the you is your children, and that is a priority as well, right? Because that's a different type of divine commitment. It really is. Um, but yeah, this is about you. This is about you. And anytime you allow yourself, and this is true for everyone, anytime we allow ourselves to be distracted by other people coming in and saying that they need something from us when it doesn't align with our truth, then that's us willingly, maybe not consciously, but willingly giving our power away. What you came here to do is for you to do. And that's first and foremost energetically. So coming into presence with yourself, giving yourself time for presence regularly. I would say every day, but if you could make presence your regular state, then that's really what we're moving toward. And from there, whatever is not in alignment with that, it won't have so much of a hold on you, because there's still a lot of that people pleasing going on. May that bless you. That came through like fire. All right. Seem to be called to make the shift from asking the universe, can I, to I can. Because I'm a creator and what I say goes. I love this energy so much for you, Floor. So huge for me. Yeah, it's tickling like all the way from my solar plexus up through my heart. Like my heart is just like, yay. Okay. Let's see. So huge for me. How to best make and sustain shift. Okay, well, the first is, it's interesting because I love that share. And then um, right after it, so pay attention to this because you're starting to do some of those fine tunings. Okay, so this is going to make sense. How best to make and sustain the shift. I want to show you that in that question is a little bit of asking for permission, that it's okay for you to say, I can. Okay, can you feel that? And if you can feel that, then that's the first step, because I'm giving you permission. I know sometimes I do this too. Okay. Yes, I do this. Right. I'm the creator, right? Right. Yes, 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 yes. You are the creator. And so what you say goes. Absolutely. And so, how best to make and sustain this shift? First, know that you are being validated in that, because sometimes when we're starting that, it really does feel like we need that permission that you can create whatever you want. To sustain this, Remember that so when we okay, this is good. This is good. I like what's coming through. When we start to shift over into really the creator mode, before we get there, what happens is we feel like we get the understanding that I create everything. And a lot of times it turns into this deep resistance because we think there's no way that I would have created my life this way. We need to remember that so much of our creation, so much, until we really the more we step in, it becomes conscious. But before we do that, 99% of our creation we have trained into being unconscious. And so when we start to step into real creator mode, like what I say goes. It's the I am that I am. It's that level. And when we step into that, there's still that going back and forth of, I don't really understand why I'm creating it this way. I'm really, really conscious. I'm really, really trying. I know that my word is God. That's how this works. Okay. But it's still not the way that I want it. And so it's giving ourselves that place of um, compassion for things still being a little wonky and not really knowing how to use our magic wand yet because we are still transitioning the unconscious level of creation to align with what we want consciously. How do we do that? Deep, deep, deep. How do we do that? Presence practice. This is why. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you, Nikki. Oh, yay. I think that's my first one. That's so sweet. Jesse gave me one the other day. I don't know how this all works yet, but thank you. We are learning to bring the unconscious and the conscious into the same vibration. And that's us being in that true creator state, that God state, the I am that I am. So when we have the unconscious and the conscious, they're out of alignment, and the unconscious is creating all this stuff. We practice more and more presence that brings that into alignment. That way, our unconscious level of self and all of this is in the limitless course, so go back into the limitless course, and those of you that want to learn this, oh, you guys are so sweet. Thank you again, Jesse. You guys are so sweet. When you're reviewing this, go into the limitless course, because remember, we're sort of zooming out and going into full creator self. And then when we do that, the human level of us is able to create, and it's creating incongruence with our higher selves. That's really how this all works. So to maintain this, to make this stick, remember that first of all, you're just starting to get the hang of this. Okay, like I'm just getting conscious that I am that I am. And there's still a lot unconscious that's creating my reality, which is fine. It's great. I'm going to give myself compassion for that. And then I'm going to move it into congruence. And how do we move that into congruence? Presence practices. And keep playing with creation, because this is where it gets real fun. Woo, it's like a new level. I love, love, love that for you, Floor. Okay, Brennan. Yeah, I just want to say thank you. I don't even know what those are called, but those sweet little gifts. I appreciate you both so much. I appreciate all of you so much. Um, any clearing or activations I can continue to do to call in divine partnership? Oh, love. I love this for you. I have been feeling it, but maybe I am still blocked in ways. Soulmate frequency. Okay, what's coming through first is, how do you feel in being alone? And I'm going to follow this because I don't, you guys are so cute. Thank you, Samuel. I love you guys. It was just my birthday a few days ago, so I'm like, yay, those are like birthday presents. Thank you. So now here's the thing, because I know you, I understand you do love yourself. And of course, all of us, rightly so. But you're so magical, of course. So let's follow this thread. How do you feel being with yourself? Oh, this is why. Because what you are calling in, I was like, why is this question coming in? How do you feel being with yourself? Because what you're calling in is such a divine soul mirroring that if you have not met this person yet, that means that there are still aspects of yourself that you're getting comfortable with. That's like uncomfortable for me in my body to say. And the area that I'm seeing that is uncomfortable for you is it's that last little level of surrender. But if I surrender, okay, this is cool. This is cool. It's that last little bit of surrender. If I surrender that I may never need partnership, like to that level, if you surrender to that level, that you would be happy in your own company forever. And I know that this is kind of confusing because when we're creating something, we think I need to stay focused on that thing that we're creating. That's true. But there's a deeper level of surrender that's calling to you that is going to call in your match, your match. And it is when truly you are just like a little kid. When you watch little kids play, like, yeah, sometimes, of course, like I hear, Auntie Allie, come play Barbies, right? And I'm like, I love that. But also sometimes kids can just get lost in their own thing. That level of being lost in their own thing, blissed out happiness, playing their own game, that's actually where you're being called to meet in your divine partnership. It's that, and then honestly, it just snaps over instantly. So it's let's see. I'm gonna intend that I can say this in the clearest way. It's by meeting yourself at the 0 point. Okay, that's cool. That was pretty clear. Meet yourself at the 0 point, play there. The minute that you do, it brings that in. And then when you sustain that energy within yourself of meeting yourself at the 0 point, then there's no separation between you and this. It's such a deep divine match that there can't be anything within you that is opposed to yourself. Now, that doesn't mean that this is going to be a partnership that has no flaws, no, or let's put this more clearly, that doesn't have any conflict, because it'll have conflict. And I'm laughing because being in human form, there's always that level of resistance. It's just part of it. But it will be sweet. It will be sweet, and it will be what you're calling in. It's just that you're calling in such a match that you do have to go deeper with being with the one inside. Okay? And I hear you. I hear you. I know you've been moving through this for a while. Okay. What can I do that will instantly align myself, spirit, aura in times of offset imbalance? We're going to make this really, really clear and concise. Instant alignment is resistance to nothing. Instant alignment is resistance to nothing. So, in those moments where you feel imbalance, resist nothing. The imbalance is coming in because there's an area where there's resisting. So, again, and I know this sounds so simple and I keep saying it, presence practice, presence practice. In the moment where you feel imbalanced, triggered, whatever, pause. Spinal breathing. I believe I have that here on my channel. Do I have that on my YouTube? I do. Kundalini breath work. So search my videos for Kundalini breath work, spinal breathing. Sit, do some spinal breathing, and let the mind, all that mental energy, move into the body. Let the mind move into the body. And what happens is, and now it is instant, but the mind is not instant, right? So it's letting go of the mind, because shifting is instant, but the mind is going to attach to things and thinks we need to fix them. The mind is great. Thank you, mind. You're so amazing. That's not how it works, though. Presence, instant alignment is being in presence with the self, Just that breath is going to bring you right there. And then you may see things where you're consistently thrown off balance. When you come into presence, you might say, huh, every time I go to this grocery store, I'm thrown off. Must be the fluorescent lighting. That must not be really good for me, right? You're going to, when you come into presence, you're going to learn something about yourself. And that learning is what you can take with you when you open your eyes, and you might come out of presence, right? That presence, sometimes we need to sit and be with it. And eventually we learn how to move with presence. But being a human, we're going to experience things. We're going to be thrown off sometimes, and that's okay. But when you go into that presence, you're going to learn something about yourself. And that's what you can carry with you and start to shift in your life. Okay. Um, What am I to learn from being in a love triangle? Self love, self love, and attachment. When we have programs of limitation, we hold on to things that aren't good for us. Okay. So, for some reason, what I'm seeing is you want to get a real good close up of somebody harming you. Right, and none of us, I wanna go deeper. Nobody's ever actually harming anyone, and I know that that's a really high level concept, and you might think that that was just the worst thing that I could have possibly said. Um, it's okay if you don't believe me. None of us are ever actually harming each other. That this is all an illusion, this is all a game, this is all something that we're learning from each other. So there's something in you though that wants to take a real close look. You want to be so close that you're in a love triangle. I want to take a real close look at somebody harming me in a way that feels familiar. I want to get real close to it, because when you get real close to it, sometimes that's what we do in human form. We get real close to it so that we can ah, shift it for ourselves. The difficulty, though, is that we don't shift it all the time for ourselves. Sometimes we just stay in it and it becomes self abuse. Okay. So you are learning more about the ways that you have been limiting your self love by getting a close up of it. And you can walk away from anything. When you release the idea of limitation and you know that your ability to be loved exists in every interaction in the world, you will no longer move into situations that are, it's essentially, it's sort of self abuse because it feels familiar on a certain level. And that's what's happening. Okay. Oh, hi, Urs. I know I said your name wrong. Urs. I think I said it better. I don't know. I'm sorry. Okay, let's read this question before I keep destructing your name. How can I support someone that has an experience of seeking solutions outside with medication and forcing the body to be functional? Um, Meet them where they are and fully accept them. In fact, here I know you can hear this. Celebrate their ability to be in that destructive state. Um, to some of you, that's going to sound really, really awful. And so, if that sounds really awful, then this may not be your teaching. It may not be something that is meant for you right now. But I know that many of you can hear this. When we not only get into the place of fully accepting. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Thank you, Brandy. Thank you, thank you. That's very sweet. I really appreciate that. When we get into the place of not only accepting that something is, but celebrating that something is, we have fully moved out of duality, and we are in full empowerment. We are in conscious empowerment. Because to believe that something is wrong is to believe that wrong can exist. And when we are in these frequencies outside of duality, we see nothing's ever wrong. It's all perfect. So if somebody is choosing something that is destructive, We can honor them as God. Even if they don't see themselves as God, we can see them as God by honoring that they're choosing that. And not only honoring it, accepting it, but celebrating that they have such an ability to choose that they could choose something that's harmful to them. In the moment that we shift our vibration to celebrating them as God, which is what that is, they are able to make new choices. We actually open up the space. It does this really, really cool frequency thing where it's like, I'm actually holding you in the space of God. And then they're like, oh, I remember that I'm God. Now, not everybody's meant to. There are people who are truly not going to go through any real level of awakening, and that's beautiful. That is really a deep desire of their soul, so we honor them in that. We honor everyone's ability to choose, even to choose to the level of, I don't want to do it this way, I want to do it this way. Awesome. Thank you, God. Thanks for choosing. That's awesome. you know because that's the real thing to celebrate here, that we get to choose. We get to choose. Thank you for that question, and it is my intention that that really makes sense. Um, can you talk a bit about the soul? How can we understand what the soul is? Can we meet or talk with our soul? And is that valuable? In what ways? Beautiful. There's no separation. So the soul is you, and you are the soul expression. The soul is the projection from source. So you're also source, right? I like to use this analogy, and I do want to move into some of these other questions because I don't want to get too far behind here. But Russian nesting dolls, when we are in our human form, we are the inner Russian nesting doll. And as we go through our awakenings, we expand into the next layer of the Russian nesting dolls. And with that next layer, different things occur. So it's a little bit different. Our perception of what we call reality is a little bit different. And when we move out to the next layer, then we really start to see, oh, there's like no duality, or duality is just a game that we're playing, and I can choose one side or the other, or I can be right here and the all is now. Okay, so um talking with your soul, the way, and I'm going to use the language that I know. So what I'm noticing is, it sounds like for you, Rosemary, the word soul has a particular connotation. The way that I see soul is, um it is the projection from my oversoul into this experience. And so soul's never separate, right? And even my oversoul right here, right now. Okay. So when we move into, let's just talk about the next layer of the Russian nesting doll. When we move into that next layer, um, time, space, and size, they all kind of become morphable and shiftable. I had somebody yesterday asking me questions about astral projection, and the way that they were describing it was, now I'm projecting, right? Even that term, I'm projecting, I'm bringing something of myself out here. So what does the body do? Oh, the body sleeps. My experience of astral projection is all is here and now. It's all here and now. It's just that the viewpoint that I'm seeing from is sort of like over here, but I'm still here. And in fact, even when I'm over here, I'm still here. So I may be interpreting this a little bit differently, because you may have a different definition of soul. And if so, I'd love to hear that at some point. Um, when I hear this, it is the higher self that we're talking about. And the higher self is still right here and right now. Oversoul is right here and right now. God is right here and right now. So if we want to meet or talk to them, we attune to the clearest vibration of ourselves, which when we're really attuning to the clearest vibration, there is no self. Okay, so it gets a little like trippy for our mind to understand, but presence practices, and then speaking with the truth. And humans have this beautiful ability to connect through the heart. The heart is the conduit to all of the truest of ourselves. Okay. So, connecting with the heart, you're going to be able to connect with the truth of yourself at any dimensional level. Okay. And at a certain level, there won't even be a self, it'll just be the all that is. So, there's benefits to all of those layers of communication. Okay. Thank you for that, Court or Amanda. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Radka, I desire to create a happy family. Any insights from my partner, children, or beloved guides to be a happy mom and partner, enjoying life together, living in abundance and joy? It is here and now. It is here and now. Hmm. To create a happy family. Let me listen to this for a moment. Ah. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the process, Radka. That's what's coming through. Because a lot of people, I understand you. A lot of people are sort of working from that inner Russian nesting doll outward, right? Which means I'm a human and how do I expand and ascend? A lot of star seeds, a lot of, and this is true of you, Radka, you're almost still trying to learn to be human. You're still trying to get from the outer Russian nesting doll to believe in this human experience. And when that happens, so when that happens, um, there's sort of a fast forwarding, right? Because in our expanded version of ourselves, there is no time. We don't have to wait for anything. So the idea of creating on this physical level can be a little cumbersome and also confusing, right? Enjoy the process, enjoy the mystery of not knowing, enjoy the connections, enjoy the process, knowing that where you are going is the fulfillment of this. And so, uh, paint a picture. This can be literal or metaphorical. Paint a picture of what you desire and be happy for that creation. And then enjoy the process. The inevitable end is there. The inevitable creation of all that you want is right there. You've mapped it out. And then enjoy the walking to it. Enjoy the walking to it. It's an adventure. It's hard to hide from ourselves. In our higher form, our expanded nature, it's hard to not be our full selves and to create instantly. Being a human is a wild adventure when we're only used to being full God, right? And so let yourself enjoy the adventure of I've hid the process from myself. I've hid the unfolding from myself. I've hid the end result from myself. Okay, let's go play with it. Let's go find it. This is an adventure of unfolding. Let it unfold. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Hi Dana. I just got to your question. What can one do when hope or feelings, energies of lightness feels like infinite worlds away? Okay, this is going to be a little bit different for everyone. Because when we've gotten to the place where we feel hopeless, here's the generality. The generality is when we get to a place where we feel hopeless, it's similar to what I've talked about in The Era of the True Creator, one of my books. I believe it's towards the end where I talk about boredom. Hopelessness is very similar to this. When we reach the level where we feel hopeless or we feel boredom, both of those are and it's very difficult in the human form. I'm just going to say it's difficult, right? Um, but it is when we reach that place, it's because we are learning how much of a creator of our lives we actually are. And we create on multiple different layers. We create energetically, we create physically, we create all of this, right? And these layers, they're not so separated, but sometimes when we feel hopeless, it's because we're not allowing ourselves to create, or when we feel bored, we're not allowing ourselves to create on that next level that we can create on. We feel hopeless because we don't see what comes next because we're meant to create it. We're meant to create it. Same reason we feel bored, because we're meant to step into this with authority and responsibility, knowing that we can't ever do anything wrong. And we create the next part. We create the next part. So, what is your heart calling you toward? Take the steps to create that. What's difficult about the hopelessness is the mental idea that we have, um, that this is true, that the stories that we're telling ourselves are true, that we actually can't, that we're not creators, that we can't get what we want, all of those things. And so sometimes we need help. We need help to come out of that. In fact, I would say give yourself all the help that you can. Come to this, connect with friends, connect with professionals who can help you through that. Because what's happening when we reach that level of hopelessness is that we actually believe the stories that we've been repeating again and again, that there isn't a way out of this, when there's actually infinite ways out of this. And you are the one who can choose. So what I'm picking up from you is a lot of overwhelm and choosing based on lots of different things. So I would recommend having someone come in and help. Make sure that you're being supported in your choosing. Okay? We do need help. We do. 60 days off on waves of vertigo. No offense, but I get really excited when I hear that, because you're in the wormhole. Don't understand it. Is it weird that I like and embrace the feeling? Okay, good. Yeah, good. I'm glad that I was celebrating, and so are you. Oh, yes. I just love all these comments. I am going to go through and read them. Yeah, let me explain what vertigo is. And I also want to say, trust that each of you, when you go through different awakening symptoms. I remember at the beginning of my awakening, and I was teaching fitness and pole dancing, right? So for pole dancing, you have to go upside down and spin around. And all of the sudden, and all of that was fine. And then I started going through my awakening, and I had intense vertigo. It was like, I used to say this a lot. It's like somebody takes a gong and just hits it right in front of you, and your whole body's going, whoa, 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 right? And it's your energy field. So I knew in that moment, I had people saying, maybe you should go get like a brain scan or something. And if you feel worried, please go get medical attention. I'm not saying don't do that, but what I'm saying is, when you know, you know. And I knew, I had one teacher in that situation who was actually going through an awakening at the same time. It was pretty cool. And I had this other teacher who was like, I think, maybe you should go get a brain scan. And then the other teacher who was going through an awakening, she said, it's the solar flares. And I looked at her and I was like, it is. So here's what vertigo is. Vertigo is your body and your energetic state. So your body is included in your predominant energetic state, which tends to be more continuous and more static, so that we don't wake up and we look totally different, right? We have sort of vibrations that we say they move a little bit slower because it's helping us be continuous. So your predominant vibration is you as a being right now. And when we go through these big quantum leaps in our vibration shifting, we tend to have vertigo because it is our predominant state actually kind of going through this wormhole and shifting rapidly. So the predominant vibration that you're holding is going through such a rapid um, shift into the new vibration version of you, that you're going to experience vertigo, you're going to experience ringing in the ears because you're learning, your brain is attuning, right? So this is what vertigo is. Vertigo is, you've gotten sucked into this portal. The portal is right here was this version of me, right here is this version of me, and of course it's all right here and now, but then we go through that portal, the energy portal, and that's where we get the vertigo. And then we start to feel more comfortable in our predominant state, which is the new state. And so enjoy it. Let yourself even go into it deeper. I've got to make sure I'm good on the time here. Okay. We're right at the end here. So let yourself enjoy it. If you have any of these awakening symptoms, again, pay attention. If you feel worried about it, it's okay to, go make sure that you're taking care of yourself in whatever way you want, whatever way feels true for you. And also, if you know inside what's being created, then definitely trust yourself. And it can even be the beginning of that journey of trusting yourself, okay? Because you are going to know. You will know even if you don't know, you know? All right. Ooh. Okay, last question, and then we're going to call it. I am seeing number 74 and 47 so many times. What message is Spirit trying to tell me? Okay, I'm going to go into this. So when we see repeating numbers or anything that's calling to us, it could be 172, or, it doesn't need to be 777. It can be any combination of numbers or palindrome of numbers, or, what do they call it? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Succession of numbers. What's happening is there is a certain layer. This is so fun. There is a certain layer of our frequency, of our experience, of our human experience, that is actually built on numbers. Okay. So I've had this experience before. It was during one of these live channelings where I looked down at the table and I was like, oh my God, I can see it's all created from numbers. This is just like the Matrix. And then I was like, there's number sequences that make this and make this. And so when we see number sequences, first and foremost, it is attuning our minds to a vibrational frequency. It's attuning us to a different vibrational frequency. Okay, so 7-4 and 4-7, I want to kind of look at this. Okay. What I'm seeing with these particular numbers is I'm hearing this is a yes, meaning this is a confirmation. And, oh, this is interesting. It's sort of turning my head. Okay, so there's like an attunement that's happening right here. I can feel it, which is more like frontal lobe. Trust the process. When you see those numbers, there's sort of an attunement happening. And also it's a confirmation, but it's an invitation to go deeper into whatever it is that you were just perceiving and thinking about. And there's something about stepping into a greater level of authority is not quite the right word, but that's the word that wants to come through. It's compassionate authority, meaning decisiveness, if that makes sense. A decisiveness from a place of love. So if we could translate this a little bit better, it would be allowing you to be in a, okay, so the type of authority that it looks like is like if you walked into a room where people, and say you're a doctor or a nurse, and you walk into a room where people are hurt and need medical attention, the authority in you would come out of trusting yourself that you know what to do in those situations, and to let yourself act that way. It's that analogy, but spiritually. So when you come into, so you get this number clue, it's helping you step into being the person who feels trusting in your own inner authority. All right. Yay, that was fun. All right. So, how perfect the timing is. It is literally at the hour. I want to read through some of these comments, and I know that there's quite a bit. I just, in case any of you need to go, I want to say thank you so much for being here. Um, Thank you for being part of this community. Make sure you join the True Creator community. So go down to the link in the description box, join the True Creator community, join the book club, be surrounded by amazing, beautiful friends. I am actually deleting all of my social media. My Instagram's already gone. I feel so strongly that I want to get rid of my Facebook this week. So join the community. Let's see. I'll just read as instant alignment. Yes, going into a pause because we are always looking for resistance. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, Amanda, thanks for being an awesome moderator. The complete surrender is terrifying. I have confidence that I can achieve this, but because of ultimately being, I guess, afraid, I keep saying that I'll go into it later. Isn't it interesting? So much of being a human and this life experience is about forgetting in order to remember. So think of this, because I feel like the avoidance of surrender is very, very common. So, everyone hear this. All you are surrendering into is your eternal self. No big deal. You are simply surrendering into the knowing that you had before you came into being a human and feeling that you had limitation. It's your eternal nature. You are always and only surrendering into the fullness of who you are. You're not surrendering into nothing, which it feels like nothing. You're like, oh, guess I got to let go of everything. Yep. Because that's where you meet the fullness of who you are. So you're only ever surrendering into the absolute vastness of all that you truly are. That's what's going to catch you. Meaning, once you do the trust fall, you trust fall into the giant void where all of creation exists. Okay. Oh, angel numbers. Yes. Also, Joanne's Sacred Scribes is the angel number person that I really trust. Now there's like AI generated angel numbers, all sorts of stuff, all sorts of places that you can look. But I would say back in 2012, at the beginning of my awakening, this is the website that I would go to, Joanne Sacred Scribes. I think that's her name. And I feel she is so deeply connected to those numbers. And Floor, I know that you're connected to someone who does who's really connected to numbers. I'd love if you could put in the chat if you're still here. Rosemary, yes, that was a beautiful question. I hope that it was helpful. I wish I was northbound train. You are all so, so, so sweet. Yes. Okay, my loves. Work on ourselves. See, the universe will align it for us. Just enjoy the process. One of my important questions about why I can't see the steps in a project was answered. I love that. I love how it just answers for everybody. Okay, my loves, I can't take the time to read all of this. Remember that we have this the first Sunday of every month. So definitely like, subscribe, share it with your friends who you think would benefit, and join the private community if you would like to work with me long term, or if you would like a single session. All of that information is in the description box below, as well as links to my manifestation course called Limitless and my channeling course called Learn to Channel. All of my books that can be purchased as well. Thank you guys for the love, for the donations. Thank you all for being here and just contributing your beautiful vibrations. Thank you for existing in the world, right? Because all of you being bright, 1000% needed. All right. I love you all. I'm going to go catch a flight. Bye.